Okay, so I'm Brian Jennings. The head of adult services at New City Library. You see Matthew Aull up there in the corner. This is his baby and his presentation. Um, he orders the movies and the games for the New City Library, and it's a unique time for film, and he's going to walk us through movies and games and where we're at the end of 2020 with that and the New City Library. So, Matt, I'll hand it off to you and let you go ahead. If you do have questions, you can post them in the chat, or at the end, we will take questions as well and open it up for discussion.
Great, thanks. Like Brian said, I'm Matthew Aull. I order the movies and games for the library. I also run the makerspace here. But I was just going to go over some of the different factors playing into our movie collection at the New City Library in this weird year we're all having. I just wanted to cover very briefly just how we go about ordering movies in the library. We try to maintain a balance between the fiction movies and the nonfiction movies. And we try to make a balance between the things that are popular now and the things that are in the popular culture. And also we try to maintain a permanent value collection, movies that hold up over time. We try to look and see what movies maybe the RCLS as a whole doesn't have a copy of, and we try to fill in those gaps as much as we can. But let's get into the movies in 2020. I'm going to start with the bad news. A lot of things have been delayed. As you can see through this link, Wikipedia has compiled this extensive list of movies that have been delayed or canceled due to the lack of movie theaters being open. There's a lot of big names in there. There's a lot of movies I haven't even heard of. I know Tenet was a really big one that they tried to release in, I believe, August, and it did not do as well as it should have, given the star power that it had. But as a result, there we are. But the other big one is the latest James Bond movie, No Time to Die, which has been delayed for at least a year. And I think I saw a news story today that it's looking to be delayed even beyond April 2nd, 2021. So things are still up in the air, as everyone knows. But on the back side of that, a lot of movies have pushed up their release date. Also in the New York Times, Warner Brothers says all 2021 films that they're releasing are going to be streamed on HBO Max the same day that they are released in theaters. So that's a huge shift. A lot of the movie companies were trying to stave that off for as long as possible, but I think with the year we've had, people have gotten used to getting those movies quickly and getting them streaming, and it'll be interesting to see how the movie experience changes going forward. Next section, we're just going to go over some movies that may have gotten missed in the past 7 or 8 months. The Lighthouse was one of my favorite movies that I've seen in this time period. It's a pretty visually dark and moody, slow movie, but it has a fantastic building aspect to it. Both Robert Pattinson really surprised me with how good of an actor he was, and Willem Dafoe, I feel, always just kind of delivers that powerful performance that he's kind of known for. Definitely, if you like a kind of psychological thriller, I would highly recommend The Lighthouse. Bad Education is not similar, but definitely didn't get the traction that it should have for how good the movie was. I think it was just released kind of quietly on HBO and didn't get a theatrical release. But it's based on a true story. Hugh Jackman's great. Allison Janney is fantastic as well. I would definitely recommend this movie as well if you didn't happen to catch it. Let's see. Emma was not a movie that I usually would go for, but I actually thought it was really good. It was visually very appealing. I think one of the reviews said that all the costumes reminded them of macaroons, which I think is very apt. And I didn't pick up on this, but one of the other reviews I saw said that there was the music in it, each character had their own instrument or their own sounds that were playing when they were in the screen. So that'd be something to look for going forward. Let's see. Color Out of Space is a very, very bizarre movie, but if you like Nicolas Cage and you like Nicolas Cage movies, you cannot see this movie quick enough. It's really all I can say about this movie is if you like a good Nicolas Cage driven movie, get out and get this movie. Just Mercy. Michael B. Jordan was listed as the 15th best actor of the 20th century, according to the New York Times article from the other day. He's been great since The Wire. He's just a formidable presence on the screen. It's a great story, and he was a great lead in it as well.
Great book, I might add, Matt.
Yep. Yes. Also a part of our books to movies collection, so you can read the book and get the movie at the New City Library. Marriage Story was also a just really good movie. Adam Driver just is like an emotional powerhouse. I think I said someone else was a powerhouse, but this was a rare movie that Netflix actually released on DVD. They generally don't release their big movies on DVD because they want you to sign up for Netflix. But this was one that they, I guess, had a broad enough appeal that they released it. Yeah.
I enjoyed that movie too, Matt. That was very powerful.
Yeah.
I don't know if my wife might file that under something I would like, but my wife wouldn't.
Yeah. It's also one of those rare movies that you kind of know what's going to happen, and it still happens, and you're still engrossed in the story. Portrait of a Lady on Fire has been a kind of a slow burn of a movie. I feel like I heard little whispers of it and just kept hearing acclaim after acclaim, and it's another visually pleasing movie, just set in 1770 France. Celine, I don't know how to say her last name, Sciamma. She has a great vision for how to frame up shots and tell the story in a way that it's a slow burn. I definitely have a type of movie, and this falls right into it, and something that kind of slowly builds up into something larger than itself at the end. This one's a little older, I think. I think it might be about a year old or two. But it's archival footage of the Apollo 11 launch, putting Neil Armstrong on the moon. I find this kind of stuff to be fascinating because they solely used archival footage for the entire documentary. As it says down there, there's no feature narration or interviews or modern recreation. It's just the archival footage presented to tell the story of how they got there. As you can see on the title, on the cover there, the Saturn V rocket really is the kind of unspoken star of the entire documentary. If you like space or just American history in general, this is a fantastic documentary to check out. And then I had to throw this in. This one's, I think, three years old, but it's the perfect light escapism movie for 2020. This guy developed his own way of shooting a camera that follows cats around at their level. And he followed, I think, about like 35 feral cats in Istanbul and kind of created a little story narrative that goes along with it. it's a beautiful city. It's a fascinating way of shooting a film, but most importantly, it's just lighthearted and interesting, which I think is something that we can all appreciate in these times. Something new that the library has started is we've created our own binge boxes. These are collections of movies that have been grouped together into a set. We pick 4 to 6 movies based around a theme. You can see the zombies cover right there. You get one checkout, you get all 6 of those movies. And it's a great way if you know you're going to have a long weekend, or you have family coming over, you don't know which movie to get for someone, you can pick one of these out, and there's bound to be something in there for someone to like, or all of them, and you can just have a marathon with it. We have up here the full list of all the movies that we've created so far. Where Brian and I talk pretty constantly about new ideas and trying to build this collection out even more. Some of them are pretty straightforward, like basketball movies or football movies or neo-noir movies. One of my personal favorites is the Boston movies. My wife just loves movies that take place in Boston. So we created one. I think it has Good Will Hunting, The Town, The Departed, maybe Mystic River in there. It makes for an interesting thematic collection of movies.
I'm still hoping for my Pittsburgh movies.
I think there's one coming. I think we pulled one together. I think that's on the list of coming up.
I pointed out to Matt ahead of time that we have a Meryl Streep movies binge box. Recently, the Times list of the top 25 actors and actresses of the 21st century received a little criticism for not having Meryl Streep listed. But you have to come here to New City Library, get the binge box.
That's right. Before they revise their list, we got you covered already. Yeah, and so that brings us to we have 2 other ways of streaming
that
movies.
Says what's steaming?
What's steaming? There's bound to be a typo.
Hot movies.
They're just so hot that they're steaming.
Steaming and streaming.
Exactly. So Brian put this little collection together, so I'll let him go through these movies.
So Hoopla is a service where you can stream movies. It also has ebooks, digital audiobooks, and more. But you can borrow 10 items per month. And this here, it's not going to have your latest films, but it will have some classics. And this is just a few of those classic films. There's an app you can download. It works with Roku, I know, definitely. Or iOS device will work with your iPad as well, and many smart TVs. So this is one of the options for streaming services that we have.
Yeah, and similar to that, we have Canopy, which there's the logo. Canopy has what I like about Canopy is it has the Criterion Collection set of movies in there, which is a highly curated list of what I believe that they call culturally significant movies. You can see the little half C on Rashomon in there. And kind of similar to Hoopla, they don't have the most recent movies. They have, you can see Moonlight and Farewell, I think are both about 2 years old. And similar to Hoopla, you can get it on your streaming devices. You just need your library card to create an account, and then you are all set with that. Moving on to video games, there are new video game systems that came out 2 and 3 weeks ago. The new PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. We have started ordering for those systems. These are the 5 games that we have ordered for the PlayStation 5. the the Spider-Man Miles Morales is a very popular movie or game that's coming out, along with the Assassin's Creed Valhalla series has been really highly regarded. Similarly, we ordered the Assassin's Creed for the Xbox. There's only a few games out so far. I think that they rushed to get it out before Christmas, but going into the new year, we're definitely going to be ordering some more of those games. Which isn't to say that we're not ordering for the older systems, the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. You can see here we've listed some of the games that we've ordered for those systems coming up that are coming out in the next few weeks.
What's Deliver Us the Moon?
It's a kind of cartoony Nintendo Switch game. It's I don't really know how to describe it. It's kind of a
For adults, for kids?
I think it skews towards kids, but it's still enjoyable for adults.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be like one of those like nostalgic games you played as a kid, but kind of updated for today.
Okay.
Um,
Film that I thought about that you missed was The Irishman, which we just got in, just came out on DVD. And I was also reminded of it because we got something in the Q&A. Do you use Rotten Tomatoes for ratings of movies to buy? I'll let you answer that. Matt.
I do definitely consider Rotten Tomatoes. I kind of use a different. I use a couple different sources. I use IMDb. I use Rotten Tomatoes, and I do. I check to see how much demand there is for the movie as well. One of the criteria we have are just contemporary significance. So if there's a lot of interest for a movie, if it doesn't have a good rating, I'm still gonna get it because people tend to be interested.
So I hope that answers the question. Like I said, The Irishman came out was a Criterion movie.
Yeah, that one had a long time to come out on DVD.
I was thinking it was about a year ago that it came out. I think I remember last Thanksgiving maybe or Christmas.
Yeah, I think that was another Netflix movie that they didn't want to wanted to hold on to that for as long as possible before releasing it out to the public.
Would the library consider ratings from patrons who watch the movies? I think well, do you want me to handle that or do you?
Sure, yeah, you can take it.
I mean, in my mind, we have a form on the website. It's under how do I place a hold or request an item for purchase. And so we get requests from people to order things. So certainly we do take that into account, and we do take recommendations from the public, Peter.
Yep.
That's kind of my philosophy of librarianship. It's I'm always kind of learning from the people who walk in the door or who reach out and communicate to us, and sometimes you guys are the best sources for finding out about films or books as well.
I definitely agree. I have my sources that I look at, but I welcome any other sources that a patron might have for a movie I might have missed or anything like that.
Anyway, what I was going to say about The Irishman is I thought that film, I read the book after I watched the movie. And usually I say that spoils the book, but I actually thought the book was better than the movie.
What was it? It was Do You Paint Houses? What was the
I Heard You Paint Houses by, I think, Sheeran. I actually thought the book was better. It had a little more background on The Irishman, I thought. But in any case, Anything else from you guys? Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks.
Certainly.